On September 17, 2025, South Africa's Supreme Court of Appeal cancelled the environmental go-ahead for Eskom's planned 3,000 megawatt gas plant in Richards Bay. The ruling highlighted a lack of proper public consultation during the approval from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. Environmental groups like the South Durban Community Environmental Alliance and Groundwork kicked off the case against Eskom. They raised concerns about insufficient public engagement, not examining renewable energy options, and ignoring fugitive emissions. This lawsuit follows a previous case from 2017 led by the Southern African Faith Communities Environment Institute, SAFC, against Eskom. Back then, the court similarly ruled against the government's nuclear deals with foreign countries for lacking proper parliamentary debate and environmental assessments. For nearly 20 years, South Africa has battled an energy crisis. Eskom's load shedding, a method to cut power supply intermittently across the country, has harmed businesses and the economy significantly. Organizations like the United Nations urge countries to shift from coal as it emits toxic gases detrimental to both health and the planet. A quick look at SAFC's website shows their aim: to stop the government from considering nuclear energy and push for renewables like solar and wind. They educate affected communities on the dangers of nuclear, therefore ensuring that even with proper consultation, communities reject the government's proposal. They perceive nuclear energy is outdated, expensive, and slow to develop. Further, they warn about potential nuclear accidents risking communities and the environment. At the center of the debates about South Africa's energy future is an interesting question of influence. Officials, including Minister Gwede Mantashe, worry that powerful foreign funders might sway NGOs, jeopardizing essential oil and gas initiatives. Many of these NGOs enjoy funding from prominent philanthropies like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, stirring discussions about advocacy versus influence. Amid these ongoing power shortages, a fragile energy grid, and an economy in decline, regular folks view the cancellation of yet another significant project as more of a déjà vu than a triumph for the environment. It feels like NGOs are guiding government decisions rather than representing the community's needs. The halt on Eskom's gas permit in Richards Bay is not a first for the courts. Back in 2017, the Western Cape High Court deemed the government's nuclear energy procurement deal with foreign nations unlawful. Both cases spotlight the government's failure to adhere to required processes and consultations. Although the legal issues seem similar, the current political atmosphere is vastly different. In 2017, President Jacob Zuma's nuclear project was labeled a symbol of corruption. The media portrayed it as just another scandal that could bankrupt South Africa. The court's decision to block this project was celebrated as a major victory for the country. Fast forward to 2025, and the recent court ruling brings skepticism rather than applause. The Richards Bay gas project aimed to address South Africa's urgent energy needs, similar to the 2017 nuclear project. It was intended as a cleaner energy source compared to coal, yet still more reliable than solar. Critics argue, however, that relying on fossil fuels contradicts the global push for renewables. People are questioning if environmental groups genuinely prioritize community and ecological welfare, or if hidden agendas are at play. We might ask the same of the judiciary. Is the South African legal system benefiting the environment or prolonging the energy crisis? The increasing presence of NGOs in South Africa is undeniable. Whether regarding energy or migration, their impact resonates. A complicated network of funding supports organizations like Groundwork and the South Durban Community Environmental Alliance. Many of these NGOs receive backing from international philanthropies such as the Open Society Foundation and the European Climate Foundation, which promote decarbonization across the globe. Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe has accused some NGOs of serving foreign interests rather than grassroots advocacy. They aren't local activists, he asserts. These are foreign-funded agents hindering African growth. While this viewpoint may seem politically convenient, it raises a vital concern about external influences lurking behind environmental campaigns. This isn't to discredit climate change, but it raises the question, should South Africa's journey towards clean energy come at the cost of development and industrial growth? Western nations used fossil fuel to boost their economies for decades, but now fund campaigns against them. They transitioned to renewables followed years of fossil-fueled progress. For developing nations like South Africa, the pressure to skip fossil fuel advantages and jump straight to renewables appears less an environmental win and more a restriction on economic growth. In this context, the cancellation of the gas project might not just be a court win. It could represent a success for a global movement that puts environmental ideals ahead of the complex realities facing South Africa. The judicial triumphs we see may seem to defend democracy and accountability, but their impacts reach far beyond courtrooms. Classrooms, factories, and homes plunged into darkness feel the effects firsthand. Load shedding is costing South Africa billions in lost productivity and investment. Unemployment rates keep climbing, while industries reliant on stable electricity, like mining and manufacturing, are scaling back. The cancellation of this energy project sends a message to investors. South Africa's regulatory framework is erratic and vulnerable to activist pressures. Shifting to renewable energy isn't something that can happen overnight. Without a dependable transitional source like gas to support the grid while renewable projects develop, reliance on coal could deepen or lead to total collapse of the fragile energy supply. Regular South Africans find themselves in the middle of a debate about the energy future. Should it reflect global environmental standards or address local realities? Each court delay may seem like a win for due process, but it also prolongs the country's struggle with energy insecurity, rising unemployment, and stalled economic growth. We cannot overlook the need for environmental justice and responsible governance, yet activism shouldn't prioritize foreign donors over the genuine needs of South Africans. Institutions claiming to protect citizens can sometimes advance agendas that may not align with the best interests of those citizens. The shape of South Africa's energy journey should be defined by its people. A fair transition ensures environmental progress without sacrificing national sovereignty, industrial growth, or enduring blackouts. Until we find that balance, the courts may keep ruling, NGOs will continue advocating, and everyday South Africans will ask the same pressing questions. When will the power finally stay on? If you liked this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe.